G'day guys and welcome to a midweek Supercoach video. This video basically going to go over my upgrade targets, some rookie downgrades and potential coverage ideas for Danger if he doesn't get up and about this week, which I'm reading into a lot of it. I'm pretty confident he won't. So first of all, I'm going to go over my upgrade targets, the guys that I want to get in to fill primo roles, so to speak. So there's going to be popular guys, and then there's guys that I want as pods. But yeah, so we'll get stuck into that first. So the first off the bat is Ben Cunnington. I really tossed the idea around with starting him at the start of the year, and I really wish I did. So he's actually only in 2% of teams. He's got a break even to 94 this week. Apparently doesn't score too well against Geelong, which is good because I'd be looking at getting him in next week. So hopefully he doesn't score too well this week and his price may drop. But look at his scoring: 91 round 1, 159, 118, 92, 101, 119 and 115. So if I could get like an average of 105 out of him, that'd be unreal. He's a contested ball fiend and he's a good efficient, uses the ball really well, is efficient with it. So he'd be great to get in. Again, 2% of his team, so great pod. Second on the list is Andrew Gaff. Obviously, you wouldn't have picked him at the start because he missed the first few rounds. Break even to 92. He's in 1% of teams. So he didn't debut to round. He didn't play to round 3 because he missed the first 2 weeks of a suspension from last year. So 103, 104, 97. That 76 is a bit concerning. However, it was in Geelong. It was at Geelong. West Coast come to Geelong, I think, once. Every two years. So he wouldn't have known that ground at all. So you can kind of wipe your hands with that 76. And then a 154 against Gold Coast. I wouldn't look too much into the 154. But again, if you get the 105 average out of him, he'd be a fantastic pod. And could help your team. So he's a guy that I'm really, really looking into. That's just midfield. So I've got Neil, Treloar, Cripps, Fife, Canelio. I don't plan on trading any of them without injuries. Rockcliffe, I was thinking about putting him on the chopping block, but now with Ollie Wines out for a month to 6 weeks, I hope his scoring goes back to what it was before Wines came in. I do plan on upgrading him later on down the track, but it'd be after buys and all that sort of stuff. Tom Liberatore, he's someone I'll be talking about soon, later on in this video. I think his role's changed, and that's going to affect his scoring. Got him at 300k, he's now 461, so he's done his job, but we'll talk about that. Backline, I'm looking into Whitfield, obviously. Wasn't named this week, so his injury... GWS aren't really big on letting out injury news. Look at his break-even, 206. He's going to drop 41k. Get him around the 500k mark. Definitely get him in. He's not a pod at all. And then Sicily is another guy that I'm really looking at. He's definitely been in some good nick. Break-even 122, dropping 8k. What's he priced at the moment? 560. Yeah, if you get around the 550 mark, that's good. I think that's good. So 100 round 1, 81, 95, 119, 117, 127, and an 80. So he's got 2 80s, which are concerning, definitely. But the rest of his scoring is really well. The 95 against North, yeah. So he could come in for, these two guys here, these two rookies here, in Dersma and Mackay. Because obviously I'd leave Lloyd and Hearn. And then Whitfield and Sicily, and then Williams and Brodie Smith. They'd be like Rockcliffe. They'll be upgraded after the buys because they got the money behind them, and you're not really going to need to downgrade to then upgrade those guys, if you know what I mean. So Williams and Smith will stay there for now. Yeah, but I'm looking at Whitfield and Sicily to take the 2 rookies' roles. Another one's worth looking at is Luke Ryan, sorry. Break even 78, he's going to make another 9k. 91, 78, 156, 93, 100, 95. So apart from his 78, he's been solid. So anyone who picked him from the start has done really well there. If we look into the forward line now, obviously I've got Danger, Heaney and Kelly. They're going to stay. Darcy Moore, again, he's probably like Rockcliffe, Smith and Williams. He'll stay for as long as I can. So the two spots to take here, Caleb Daniel, I think everyone's starting to cotton on to him. He's really, really done a great job at scoring pretty well for anyone who picked him or anyone who's got him in. Priced under 500k. Looks like he'll go up to 500k, 15k this week. So a bit later on in the video, I'll be talking about a possibility of me getting him in this week. He's in 6% of teams, so he's still slowly, gradually getting into some teams. 104, 120, 96, 93, 100, 102, 113. All fantastic scores. Take those scores every day of the week, especially at what he's priced at. Who was next? David Mundy, another guy I wish I picked from the start and genuinely thought about. I was put off due to his age. Age is just a number, as we see blokes like Gary Ablett Junior proving. So he's going to go up 23k. Gee, what's he at? 5. Ooh, he's getting up there. 73, 35 against Gold Coast. Not sure what happened there. 104, 151, 83, 122, and 137. Again, not really. Oh, he's only in 2% of teams. Wow. Didn't realise that. 2% of teams. So he'd be a fantastic pod. Fantastic pod to have. Boak, I mean, we all know what he's doing. He's going to get up to that 600k mark. 109 break even. Hopefully he has a bit of another under par game. But 119, 123, 136, 134, 95, 129, and 102. 20% of teams, not a pod at all, but good scoring power. It's not tall. Tall forwards and key position players aren't ideal for Supercoach, but when they're doing numbers like he is, it's kind of hard to look past. 100, 68, 163, 92, 85, 114, and 134. He's kicking bags. He gets up the ground. He takes great contested marks. He puts in forward line pressure. He is someone worth looking at, and he's only in 5% of teams. So he's a pod, and I am seriously considering him. And the other key position is Tommy Hawkins. I don't want too many Geelong players because it'll be after the bye anyway, but 89, round 1, 112, 69, 111, 73, 119, and 104. He's pretty consistent with hundreds. He doesn't need to score a lot of goals to score well in Supercoach because he takes contested marks, he gets up the ground, and he's involved in goal assists and scoring assists. So 2% of teams, again, another pod. I actually watched an interview on the guy who won Supercoach last year, and I think it was the last round or coming into the last round or 2 weeks out. He had 2 trades left, and he brought in, I can't remember who. He brought in someone, and he brought in Tom Hawkins, and Tom Hawkins was actually the key to him winning it. He said it sent him right up the ranks, and he ended up winning because of Tom Hawkins. So not that I'm saying Tom Hawkins is going to win your Supercoach, but it's sometimes when you make a call like that, it kind of helps you out. And like I said, when they're in a small percentage of teams and you can get that pod advantage, then it can really help. So they're just a few key guys I'm looking at getting in. I'll get Cunnington next week, and hopefully another primo next week with the downgrades I'm going to make this week. So it'd probably be Cunnington and maybe Caleb Daniel, or possibly it wouldn't be Whitfield. I'll wait till he drops. But so that comes to this week's trades. So first out is Collins. He's just going to start losing money soon. And Charlie Constable, I'm not convinced with his spot in the team now. I think if Danger doesn't make it this week, he gets the call up again. But I don't know, there's something going on there. He's not as guaranteed as I thought he was. So those two out. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to swap Danger to the midfield. And I'm going to bring in... this is one of the possibilities I'm going to do this week. This is if I just do pure downgrades. Where is he? Bring in Ainsworth. And then Corbo. Both on the bubble. Both due to make a bit of money. And I like their job security. So what this does is, it brings in good coverage for Danger for this week if he doesn't make it, right? So you've got Corbo in. I know I've got Bolter on the bench, who got a 59 last week, but I think Corbo would score a bit better. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weak forward line, but, I mean, how much percentage of teams is Danger in? I think, 72% of teams. So I think a lot of people are going to take that Danger hit, and it's where you get coverage. I think I'd prefer Corbo in my team on the bubble and to score better than Bolter to cover Danger. And obviously I've got guys in the midfield that, I'm going to field Sydney Stack. So that would be this week's move. I'd put Hoare on the ground for Mackay, and I'll VC Grundy into 5. So that would be the team that I'd go with. Mackay wouldn't be the emergency because he is not playing. Hayes, Rob, and Bolter. That's how I'd line up this week if I go with that move. Now, another option I can go with is Willem Drew's going to get more game time because of Ollie Wines. So I wouldn't downgrade him because he's going to make money, but if you can get a primo out of him, then it's worth it. And I think this would be the only way I would trade Drew this week. Get Daniel in, and then Ainsworth, because he's on Zibuble. Complete that, and then you've got, again, I'd swap Mackay on, take the E off him. And that's how I'd line up, leaving Constable to make more money for me. And then I've got Caleb Daniel in, and you're getting him under 500k. Not a bad move, and I'm thinking about it, because the quicker you can get primos in, the better. And that leaves me with 12 grand, which isn't too bad, because then in the following week I'd be looking at downgrading. What's Hoare doing? He's making more money. I think it was Dersma. I think his break-even's a bit here going. Oh no, I'm still going to get some decent kangaroo out of him. I think Sydney Stack will be in the 300k mark, but I'm banking on him to make some more money. Rob is another guy that's he's just killing money at the moment. He's just having a real good time. My plan is with him, when I go to trade him, I'll swap Bynes back to the captain position, and then I can bring in a forward. That was my move with him. Oh, yeah, Liberatore. So that was the other option that I had, is if I downgrade Collins and Libba, and then I bring in... What was I doing? Oh, yeah, swap Dersma into the middle. No, I didn't. Or did I? Yes, I did. Swap Dersma into the middle, Darcy Moore down back, and then brought in, again, Ainsworth and Corbo. Where's Corbinator? And Corbo. Complete that. And then, yeah, you've got 527k in the bank, which then next week you could go ahead and get in Cunnington, and then you get... So next week it'll be 2 primos, wherever I pick to play them. I'd put more on the ground for Mackay and Ainsworth on for him. Those guys, that'd all be that. And, yeah, Bolter. Yeah. So, that's the third option for this week. I'm not 100% sure what I'll go with. I do like the idea of swinging Danger into the midfield and getting that coverage there. And then the next week, if I was to do that, the next week I would have to trade Willem Drew, which I'd be getting into primo anyway, but I'd be swapping Willem Drew, putting Danger back into the forward line, and then bringing in like a Cunnington into the midfield, or Andrew Gaff, whoever I decide with there. Another pod I'm looking at is Mitch Duncan, actually. I think he had a couple of quiet scores earlier in the year. So he started with a 100, 103, 180, and then a couple of 80s, but now back to 116, 126. He's playing a really decent role on the wing. He gets a lot of the ball. He's a high efficiency user. And again, 1% of teams. So yeah, that's another pod option. But yeah, as far as this week goes, it's either downgrade Collins and Constable, swap Danger in the midfield, bring in Ainsworth and Corbo, or I can downgrade Collins and Drew and get in Daniel and Ainsworth, or I can downgrade Libba, Danger in the midfield, and downgrade Collins, bring in Corbo and Ainsworth. So I can either make money this week with downgrades and then upgrade twice next week, or I can bring in a Primo this week and a rookie, and then next week do the same thing. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover. Now, trades, I traded aggressive last year and it worked out all right. I've done the same thing this year. The only way I would come back to bite me on the arse is if I get injuries, which are probably inevitable. But if I can get rookies or whatever to give me coverage for the meantime when that happens, then that'll be fine. But I wouldn't mind coming out of the buys with 10 trades up my sleeve and then a very close team to final, a very close final team. I also am planning on not trading during the buys. I mean, if we look at my coverage, so the first buy I'm going to be fine. Plenty of primos there to get the job done. It's this next week that I'm struggling. So I've got Hayes that can play. Collins will be Ainsworth. He is the doggies, so he can play. No, he's Brisbane, so he won't be playing. So I'll get Hayes. I'll get Rory O'Brien, Bolter, Baker, and Drew. That's the midweek, and then the final week, I'm pretty fine. So, as far as buys go, I think I'll just let them play out and not worry about trades. And then after that, like I said, I'll hopefully have about 10 trades left, and I can just go bang. But anyway, that's this week. That's this video. Let me know if anyone's got any ideas, any similar ideas, or anything that could potentially help me out. And yeah, good luck with it this week. See you guys.